Hey, what's going on? This is Chef Big Daddy here, and I'm going to bring you into this episode of creating Mama's a classic Italian meatballs. This recipe hails from the House of Meatballs in Westwood, California, where I learned from a very famous chef. His name is Totoro Pizza. He was my mentor as well as my friend, and he showed me many things in the kitchen, many recipes, but most of all, how to pursue passion. And today I'll be showing you how to create the simplistic recipe of a beef pork meatballs, which we served at our restaurant daily. So let's get started. So first off, I'm gonna take you on a little trip and show you the ingredients in which we'll be using today. So, as you can see, we have parsley, about half a bunch chopped. We have garlic. This is an entire clove of garlic, an entire head of garlic, should I say. We have some cheese here, some grated Parmesan Romano cheese. We have eggs. For this recipe, we are cooking 2 pounds of beef, 1 pound of pork. So I'll be using 3 eggs, 1 per pound. We have chopped onions. We have bread that we'll be mixing with milk, soaked bread to the mix to give it the fluff, and ricotta cheese, as well as all of the simplistic spices that you usually use in the kitchen. We have salt, black pepper, basil, and red pepper. And let's get started. And I'm just going to draw you over here to the kitchen table process. Alright, so first things first, get a good decent sized mixing bowl, and you want to grab meat. The meat we have today is 2 pounds of beef and 1 pound of pork. We're just going to throw that in the mixing bowl, just like so. Got it all in there good, and we're gonna mix it up. So grab yourself a spoon or a spatula and just give it a toss. You want to make sure that it's evenly distributed pork with beef. Get that on the roll. Smashing it up like so. I want you to stir it for at least 2 minutes. Make sure that everything is thoroughly distributed. Now that's done, we're going to go to the next step, in which we will be soaking the bread. You can use panko breadcrumbs or white bread. I prefer white bread just because it's cheaper. And that's what I had lying around the house. So first things first, you're going to cut off the crust. Once the crust has been removed, I'm going to add the pieces of bread to the bowl. Discard these into your compost. So once you have your white bread, you're going to mix it with milk. We're going to start with 1 cup of milk. And see how that does. Mix it around. Make sure that the bread is completely coated in the milk. You want it to dissolve, you want it to be pasty-like consistency. Completely dissolved in the milk. So that was 5 slices of bread, people. And once that has been mixed, just going to hit it with a little dash. Probably another 1/4 of a cup, and let that sit. As you can see, its consistency. Very pasty. I'm gonna put that aside and let it sit. Next, we're gonna go over to adding the ingredients in which we'll be making Mama's classic meatballs. So, first things first, we're gonna put in some eggs. We have 3 pounds of meat, so which constitutes about 2 to 3 eggs, based on consistency. So we're gonna go with 2 at first, and at the end of the process, if the meatballs seem like they're too, they're not like loose enough, they're too dry, I'll add another egg. So that's 2 eggs. As you can see, 2 beautiful eggs. Next, I'm going to go with the garlic. I chopped an entire clove of garlic, so I'm going to take about 1 tablespoon plus half. Just because I love garlic, and who doesn't love garlic? Next, I'll be taking an onion, in which I previously diced. This is 1/2 of an onion added to the mix. And we are going to add, this is 1/2 of a parsley bunch chopped. I'm going to add 1/2 of that. So it averages out to about 1/2 cup of parsley. Just to give it that color, you know. Already you can tell that everything's flowing together beautifully, but judging by the color. So next, I have 3 pounds of meat. I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of salt. So 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to be adding like 10 dashes of pepper. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of these dried basils because I couldn't find any fresh basil at the market today. I probably just didn't look hard enough. But if you can find it, fresh basil all the way. If not, 1 tablespoon of dried basil. And add that to the meatballs. And gonna get 1 hit of red pepper. Boom. Next, we're gonna add the soaked bread that we had before to the mix. And 1 cup of ricotta cheese. And we are going to give that a thorough mix. So before I mix it, you can see everything that's going on in here. Let's mix that up. You want it to have a good consistency, not too runny though. It needs to have some durability to it, so we will still be able to mold the meatballs before we bake them. And so far, so good. The smell is amazing. And I want you just to whip that up for a good, 2 minutes of just constant stirring, making sure that every piece is completely coated. And that's the good consistency for Mama's meatballs. If my mama was Italian, she would be proud. But instead, I'm Greek. So, just gotta deal with it. So, next thing, you're gonna grab a sheet pan and some parchment paper. Like so. Line your sheet pan with the parchment paper. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know. Obviously, mine is nowhere near being perfect looking. And there's one more ingredient that I forgot to add, so we're gonna add half a cup of cheese. That a good stir. And now it's time to make Mama's and Meatballs. So what I like to use personally is a scooper. This is a 2-ounce scooper. You're gonna pull the lever and draw the meatball mixture towards you, and we're gonna pop it out. Just like so. Give it a little round in your hands. I want it to look about this size. And place them right on your parchment paper. And then we're going to do that for the whole mix. See this rolling technique? Best to use gloves, but you know, I don't have any, so I really don't know what to tell you. But if you don't want your hands to get messy, I would totally recommend to use some gloves for this process. As long as you don't mind, unless you don't mind smelling like onion, garlic, and meat, you know, go for it. Be the professional chef in your own home. I want you to do whatever you feel is right. I want you to do whatever you feel is comfortable. I want you to be the big daddy in your kitchen. Listen up, men. There's nothing sexier than men who can cook. Regardless if you're jacked or if you're half naked wearing a chef apron, you know? Spice it up. Show your lady that you love her. Cook her some fucking food. Watch my show. Get some ideas. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. It's Chef Hersey at Instagram. Or you can send it to my personal email, in which I'll be uploading online soon. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. There's to be no way in hell that I would be where I am today if I didn't make multiple mistakes. Mistakes are learning curves, especially in the kitchen. Now look at those beautiful, succulent meatballs. Enjoying. I literally just cook for my friends and my family. Whoever wants to come over and eat, if you live in Portland, Maine. Soon I'll be launching a cooking class based out of my apartment. So sign up, come down, and you'll get the full chef experience. I want you to succeed just as much as I do. That's the best part about working with local ingredients. And would you look at that? Got about 15 fat meatballs ready to roll to throw in the oven. You're gonna set your oven at 400 degrees, and you're gonna want to cook the balls for 45 minutes to an hour to ensure that they are fully cooked. So let's shoot over here and wash my hands real quick. As you can see, the meatballs, for which I have prepared. Oh yeah, look at those balls of love. We're gonna pop those in the oven. As you can see, oven reads door open. Meatballs in the oven. I'm gonna set that in there for 45 minutes to an hour at 400 degrees. So set the timer. Set it for 45, and if it needs more cooking, kick it up for another 15 minutes. And that constitutes Mama's Meatballs, a classic Italian style. And I will load another video, pull them out, and show you the process of how they were cooked. Alright, until next time in Big Daddy's Kitchen. Say what's up to my parents. Yo, what's up, Dad? What's up, Mom? Ugh.